We're at Klassy's Classic Cars, Clarence Arnold Dewson's collection of vehicles. This is Dallas Hardy, and we have a 1957 Desoto, and I understand it's a convertible, and this is the only one in Canada?
Yeah, it's
wow.
Pretty rare.
Yeah.
There was 11 in this color combination, and this is the only one in Canada. There was 300 of the convertibles built, and there's 11 still on record. So there's 11 known to exist, and this is the only one in Canada.
Wow.
From what I understand to Clarence, and I'm hoping I'm repeating this correctly, but the other combination was flipped black with gold, which was another combination. But this is the only one that appears like this, the only one in Canada and one of 11. So, but this was another car that we picked up at the Barrett-Jackson collector car auction, which is they're the largest collector car auction in the world. Yeah. That's their claim to fame. Of course, they do have some competition. We do some business with Meekin Car Auctions, Russo Steel, but Barrett-Jackson is kind of they're the big shot in the collector car world, or I should say in the collector car auction world. Sure. And we were in Barrett one year with at Barrett-Jackson with some other car dealers, and actually a friend of Clarence's bought this car, and we were there with him. And from the minute that Pete got this car, Clarence had an eye for it. It was another one of those cars. The minute Clarence seen it, he was wide-eyed, and for years he tried and worked his hardest to try to buy it from Pete. And Pete, just being a true car guy himself, a true Morpar guy, he really didn't want to sell the car. And so here a little while ago, one night, visiting and hanging out with Peter, Clarence finally talked him into selling the car. And so they made a deal on the car, but by the end of the night, we actually owned one or two more as well. So that's how you know a true car guy. It just doesn't stop with one car, but it's a beautiful car. It's the gold and black combination is spectacular. If you look under the hood of this car too, this one is just spotless underneath. It was very well restored and very well kept. Yeah. And this is exactly the way it appeared when it came out of the factory. So there's nothing customized about this car. It's been kept that well.
Tell me about what Desoto, the company Desoto. What's their story?
Well,
if you know.
Desoto basically was started prior to Dodge Brothers, prior to Chrysler, and eventually was bought out by, I believe they were bought out by the Desoto Brothers and then obviously Chrysler. Right. By the Dodge Brothers and then by Chrysler. So not that prolific exactly on it, but I know they were the precursor to Dodge and Chrysler, so they got bought up. But a lot of the styling cues from the Desotos were picked up in the later model year Chryslers. So basically Desoto, like a lot of the other mainstream manufacturers back then, eventually got bought up by the bigger companies. But they did have some really good qualities about them that the bigger companies did carry on with. And Desoto, like this, was one of them. As you notice, this being a 57, the Imperial that we talked about at one time, sitting right there, same thing. That they took a lot of the cues out of this and eventually put them into those cars. So,
quick, what happened in 1957? Anything special?
My mom and dad got married.
Woohoo! There we go. I was going to be a trick question. I had nothing for you. Thank you very much. I love this one.